Hey guys, this is Kaelym from Ellipsis, and I just wanted to let you guys know we are still working on the project. At this point in time, I am getting ready to explain some of the updates for some new people who are just coming in, who may eventually see this video, and for the people who have been gone a while. Um, this is not going to be an interesting video. The first one is simply for information of what is available, what will be available, and what can we expect. When it comes down to it, the whole reason that I got so quiet for this past 6 months was because of work. Unfortunately, I decided to do the adulting thing, and it's not working out too well. um, so I am back. I'm going to be back for a while, at least until March, most likely. As the holiday seasons, yes, they're hiring a lot more people, but they're not looking for permanent workers, and I refuse to work anything not permanent. So, um, to start off, what can you expect from the mod? To be frank, right now, 115, it's colors. Lots and lots of colors. Um, I am adding 30 new colors to the game. The Minecraft base is 16, and the reason you're only getting 30 is because in order for the sheet wool to properly show up, you require to have the base white. Um, I could offset the hex scales and figure out all the fancy code stuff, but that seems like a drag and a waste of time, so we'll have a bland white so that the ellipsis modified sheep can be put out, as well as a plain Minecraft white. When they spawn into the overworld, they will now be this wonderful bronze, which bronze has been reworked for my old returning 112.2 players, to this more lush brown rather than the greenish ugly brown that it used to be. Um, and this is for the builders. Only for the builders. This mod is not going to be very survival based. It is going to be for the creative ones that need that extra color context, or they want that super amazing. Uh, sorry, what am I doing? I was thinking super amazing wagon adventures. Please don't ask me why. But for the people who really just desire more, you know what? Screw it. They can't breed anyway. Get out of my way, Grum. But colors. Colors. I like my world colorful. And Minecraft just hasn't been able to appease that yet. I'll stop monotoning about colors and how amazing they are and just get into it. Currently, we have, which I've already told you, the 30. But unfortunately, I've only added 15 so far. The major changes, as you can see, is mine tend to be more darks currently, the richer styled stone. So, yellow, it kind of has a greenish tint if you look at the Minecraft base, which I think they might have fixed a little bit moving into 115. But just for completion's sake, I'm going with the older yellow. Um, it gives that extra flair anyway. You're going to get a little bit of green residue from the leaves and the flowers. Think realism, just a little bit. And then when it comes up to golden yellow, which is going to be as simple as 2 yellows instead of 1, then you get a much richer texture for your stone blocks. Which, when you look at yellow versus golden yellow wool, it's not going to make a huge difference, as the golden yellow wool just looks slightly more saturated. So, in this one, wool is not dressed to impress, whereas the stones will be. It's just a simple overlook on my part. I will make it better. As we move along, this is going to grow and expand into multiple plans and series. So just to go over that, each world is going to have at least 4 marble variants. Now, I do not have these pulled up currently in the game. This is going to be black, pink, white, and light gray marble for my overworld. I do not have the nether marble in yet. That is going to be a different part of the pack. I haven't even started working on it yet, so I can't really show it to you, but that is going to be red, crimson, obsidian black, and I think it was... Oh, I'm going to skip along because I can't remember the 4th one right off the top of my head. And then for the end, we're going to have a style of purple, yellow, gray, and maybe another variant of black, just because I like to keep the color scheme similar to their overworld self. From there, we have Basalt, which Basalt will be removed when it comes to 117. I will be keeping the red Basalt variant, but I will be changing the texture to match its black variant. Also, another thing that will be removed when it comes over to 117 will be the black stone, as that appears to be just another variant of stone that has been recolored, which I am fine with. That's less code for work for me to do. It's easier to keep track of. I might keep the recipes just to make it easy to move over and say, yeah, I did it, but here's some recipes to make it easier for you. So next would be Limestone. Limestone is going to be changed drastically by the end of this. It's been a community unpopular. While it is personally a favorite, I do have to agree the limestone wall is kind of messy. However, the natural limestone is one of my favorites. It makes a great spot so that you can use for pathways, or it has a nice rough edge to it, so you can use it for detailing on a wall or around edging, trim, things like that. A lot of these blocks were hand repainted by myself for specific color schemes. I went through and I got hexadecimal codes so that all of them would match or be similar. However, the earlier blocks are not as uniform as the new ones. You're going to see a lot of differences when it comes down to old versus new. As I became both a better artist and a better developer and paid more attention to detail. Mahogany is going to be, in my opinion, I feel like it's going to be one of my more popular colors. Crimson, they are adding a lot of crimson stuff to their base game, but it is here to stay. Mine is going to be different enough, whereas theirs is kind of purpley. When I think of crimson, I think blood. It might just be renamed. I don't know. I'll figure it out. But crimson is here to stay. I will have a unique way of getting the dye eventually, just as soon as I figure out how everything works. Next is going to be the stones. Everybody who has been working with it knows there are 9 new ores. Each ore is going to have a special tier to it. So say you have amber, amethyst, garnet, peacock, or sapphire, seraphinite, smoky quartz, ruby, topaz ores. Seraphinite is going to be the top of it, amber is going to be the bottom, and all the other stones are going to kind of fall in between. That's mostly due to I like having more styles of tools than what is available. I feel like stone tools should have 3 different variants based on whether you use andesite, granite, stone, or diorite. And I feel like they should have different durabilities based on what they are made of too. So your amber is going to be the most enchantable other than seraphinite. It's going to be your weakest, but at the same time, it's easy to come by. Whereas if you made a wooden pick, it's going to have a little bit more durability, but it's not going to be as enchantable. Your amber is really going to be better used making supplies and stuff, which I will get into that eventually. Right now it's not in the mod. I'm only going over what I've got. Next are wooden tables and chairs. Yes, I have some models in from what we used to have, but unfortunately I do not have it all in yet. I'm working on it. I'm sorry. But these were made by Sedina. They're simple, they're effective. They get the point across. You have the little man with the world on his shoulders table, then a basic table and a basic chair. Eventually, I want to have it so that you can actually sit in the game. Right now, it's just fancy decoration. One of the things that I'm going to be looking for is people who are willing to set down and break blocks like this. As you can see, I have a texture detail. I need to fix it. No big deal. It'll be done. Probably later today. But that is what I'm looking for from community help. So if you ever have to wonder, hey, how can I help you? Leave a comment. Ask to join the whitelist community. Maybe drop your username if you want to. Message me. Whatever you need to do. Give me a little bit of time to respond. I am on an Eastern time zone, but I am relatively active, so I should get back to you within a few hours. From here, like I said, I really don't have much to offer with the base mod. Smooth andesite, diorite, granite. Just to show you the basic idea of what they are. I'm adding a brick variant of granite. Nope, that's polished. Well, what am I doing? So you have regular granite, which you'll have a smooth granite and a polished granite. As of 115, this is the typical granite, and I think they added a smoother version on 116. I need to double check that texture change, but I'm pretty sure mine is still fine as is. And then I added a polished, a smooth, nope. I guess they did not add polished. So I will have to add this eventually, which is just a smooth granite brick, which is very similar, made the same exact way as your stone. I just wanted to make sure that there were more building materials that could benefit the player, that were also able to hold up to the old stone. Because when you look at it, cobblestone has the highest blast resistance, and that makes no sense to me. Next on my list is Basalt, which I went over this just a little bit, but I wanted to go ahead and show you what I have to offer currently. Expect some of these textures to change over time. Don't get too attached to them. While I love my textures, don't get me wrong, I have to pay attention to what the community actually finds uses for. Because I want this to be a mod where something for everyone. If I notice a block is being neglected, I'm going to look at it with an analytic mind, because that's just how I am. And I'm going to say, okay, what can I do to make it better? And currently, my red basalt is much better than my black. There's a little bit more hints of iron deposit or sedimentary deposit inside of them, and it just looks nicer to me. It's smoother. The black, there's this obvious swirl from where I took the paintbrush a little too thick. I need to blend this one better, especially in the polished and the basic version of the block. The basic version of the red, while yes, it's heavily textured, it at least looks like a rock rather than a swirly. So expect some of these to change quite a bit. I am going to be re-adding my bars. I'm going to be adding an antiqued gold, which is going to be hundreds of times easier to do when it gets to 117 since they're adding the new copper block. I'm excited for that. Having a block that gradually changes colors is going to be amazing, and having a way to make sure that it stays a regular gold is going to be amazing too. So I'm looking forward to that. Obsidian bars, blaze bars, which I definitely need to change the name for that one, amid a light, and they're going to be used for nether structures. That's more future. I'm not worried about the future right now. And then, oops, we're going to be adding the new terracotta colors, which I have not done yet. The colored glass variants, colored sea lanterns, more clear glass, a frosted glass, which is going to be glass, but not quite as opaque. It's going to be halfway there. That way you can still see through it, but maybe things can't see in as well. If you get, or think cathedral glass, where you can't see through the glass, but it's really pretty and the light shines through. And then we have thrones, balloons, more wool, of course, as I showed earlier. All the dyes. And I want to get it so that instead of this mess, I want the textures to line up so it can be clear. So a true clear glass with an edging. I haven't figured out how to do that yet. It's a work in process. But I promise once I figure it out, it'll be there in a flash. Of course, I'm adding more flowers. I'm going to add vines. There's going to be various ways to collect these new colors in the overworld, in the nether, in the end, all depending on what color you're going for. Anything yellowish is probably going to come from the nether or from your dandelion mixed with something. Your more neon colors is going to be something mixed with glowstone. There's a lot here. All the carpets, goblet models. That's something that I'm going to be adding later. It's going to be variants of gold and silver with each of the gemstones. The non-mod colors is going to go into extended survival. Base dye color variant stones are going to be in the extended survival as well. We're going to have colored glowstones, balloons, which should be in holiday. And then we're going to have storage solutions. So you're going to have your flint, charcoal, rotten flesh, blaze, all kinds of style blocks that they should have had in the game just so that you could get stuff out of your way. I might even make a bread loaf so that instead of having 64 bread taking up an entire chest. Lily, Jellybean, go upstairs, please. Upstairs, please.
I got Minecraft.
I know, I heard you the first 4 times. But, instead of having the several loaves of bread taking up an entire chest, you can combine those to make a block and have a bread loaf, and it'll look like a little loaf of bread from the store or something. Just small quality of life improvements. Gold banded wood. It's also going to have an iron banded idea behind it as well. These are going to be used for lighting solutions, which is another big update my mod is going to be offering. We're going to have candles, chandeliers, vases, wall braziers, you name it. I'm going to try to find a way to make it. So, colorful slime. This is going to be my favorite one to add in. And it is simply because My little one absolutely loves bouncy castles. And so whenever she plays Minecraft with me, which isn't very often considering I don't really have the computer for her to play on as well right now, um, I have to build her a bouncy castle land for her and her wolves. And she'll sit and she'll bounce on the slimes. And I noticed that other than the clay and the wool, there's not really enough colorful, happy blocks. So I want slime to be every color. I feel like there could be a lot of implications and uses for multicolored slime, both for decorative means and for hiding secret hideouts and bases and things like that. And it's going to work exactly like a slime block, it's just going to be more of them. Um, let's see here. Oops, wrong one. Sorry about that. None shall pass. I am intending on adding some chess pieces. These are personal pieces that I've done. I just kind of want to showcase them for a brief moment. Um, I had the idea that my marble looked like a chessboard and I really enjoyed the game. So I was making pawns. These emit a small amount of light. They're pretty, they're nice for decoration. But in order to make the game enjoyable for my huge casino that I had built on the old server, uh, I needed a lot of mini game ideas, and I can't think of one better than chess, because when it comes down to it, the mini game potential has already been taken over by Hypixel and everything like that. So why not create my own fantasy style chess pieces and see what happens for the smaller servers out there, because they can be used as statues as well. They're decorative, they're useful. These are the black and the white rook pieces. The Iguaon looks a lot better in the game than it does on that pure black screen. I do plan on eventually reworking it. Uh, I could do a better job. I'm not happy with what I did, but I was still learning the product, and you can tell the difference between making it and the lion, because the lion just looks better. And you can definitely see another leap and bound approval on this one, because this is the seahorse, which is the knight, and then the black knight is the dragon. I'm still playing with the idea of potentially just doing these with the different colors. That way you have multiple sets of chess, but at the same time, that seems like a sync. Um, and by saying sync, I mean it seems to use up a lot of data that could be freed up for something else, more usable blocks. Um, these are some of the marbles that I was considering for the nether. You have your crimson, your red, your obsidian red, quartzite, which is another style of marble I'm going to be adding, obsidian, the new nether stone that I was planning on adding, and the red nether stone. This is one of the lighting systems. This is supposed to be a miner's lamp. This is kind of a lamp vase. This on the outside will be a glass instead of a limestone. I had done limestone just to see what would happen, how it would look, to show the shape more than anything. This is the brazier. I'm not entirely happy with it. It will be changing. I know I can do a better job now. This is the skeleton skull. This is part of the holiday pack when I eventually get back to it. A lot of this is me posting pictures as I learn how to do it, trying to keep my community updated the best I can. Armors, they're going to be reworked eventually. Horse armors, all of these designs are subject to change, but as is right now, it is playable. This is our version of the chain, and I kind of like mine more simply because you can orient it side to side, up, down. It's whatever you want to do with it, really. And you can walk on it, so it's kind of a letdown in that sense, but at the same time, it looks nice. You can use it as a barrier. There's It's not just a hang from the ceiling so you can hang a lantern up. It's got usable means to it. These are some of the cathedral glasses. Um, this is showing off the world spawn. These are the different types of adobe that are going to be joining. This is the inside walls, which adobe itself looks kind of ugly. Redstone lamp idea. These are going to be part of creative sets. And by creative sets, it's more for server administrators who want to reward their members without giving them diamonds. Because when you give your server diamonds, it kind of sends it makes them not as valuable, or iron or gold, things like that. And while I greatly appreciate the servers that are willing to just pass out the diamonds and make you log on every day and get a diamond, it would be really nice for some of the more building oriented servers to just say, hey, I noticed that you've logged on a lot lately. Have this fancy block set. Or have a key so you can earn this fancy block set. And there are several blocks that I really wanted to create that I couldn't do it. Simply because either the design space was too small. Like, say... I know I just passed it. It was my lion. Well, say... the sun and moon. It would have looked so much better if I had allowed myself 4 blocks instead of 1. It doesn't look terrible, but it could look a lot better. You can use that in a cathedral if it looked better. Or say, let's see, here's another one. Where is it? It's right up here at the top. Might be on the other side of this. Here's your adobes with your planes. This lion block. This lion block is a prime example of one that would look better if I made it bigger. You can see the detail. But if I didn't tell you what that was, how many of you would have honestly been able to tell me that was a lion? You might have been able to say, oh, that looks kind of like a beast, or depending on how your mind matrixed it, it could have looked like an angel on a sunset. Because this would be like the head and these are the arms straight up. Praise the sun. I can't believe I said that. But there are so many ideas out there that would have been better for the more build-based servers, in my opinion, than just offering the player-based diamonds all the time. So, moving right along. Pillars. Pillars is going to be the next big one. These are both... You can make these vertical or horizontal. I'm working on the code right now to make vertical slabs and sideways stairs that are also orientable for those builders that like to have ultra fine detail. One of the big things that I loved about a different game that I'm not going to mention simply because it doesn't deserve the publicity is they had the option to rotate stairs. So I'm going to set it up in a way that you can put a stair into a stone cutter and it'll turn it sideways. It's going to be kind of inconvenient for the people who really want to just have that as a crafting recipe, but at the same time it's going to make it so much smoother if you can just look at a block and be like, okay, this is what I want and this is what I need to get it. In the long run, I feel like people are going to adapt to the unyieldy novice Java apprentice. The bookshelves, that's another thing I wanted to go over, just a light touch. Wooden bookshelves, it takes a lot. I think it's 15. Forgive me, it's been a while since I've actually played in survival. I do more coding than I play. I'm trying to make it so you need about half as many bookshelves in order to get to level 30. 1 row rather than 1 and a little extra. So, by making stone bookshelves, you get better results. And I want to eventually add in obsidian, polished obsidian, for bookshelves. That way you can get an even higher tier of enchanting shelves. That way you're not using as many resources to get what you want. It's not going to take near as much space. A lot of people tend to build a rather large enchanting room, and it would be easier to hide this with redstone. You could put down, let's say, 4 blocks, 5 blocks to make it pretty even. And then you have the enchanting table. You could pull it down with your redstone, and then it's gone. I mean, it's right there where you can use it and not have to worry about it anymore. I'm sorry, I rambled a little bit on that. These are some of the more simple tiles that we're planning on adding. We got a bunch of them. Really, just try to remain up to date as much as you can, because I am terrible about updating as I go. I've been forgetting about it a lot. I've been trying to juggle multiple tasks, and I am getting back on top of it. We have a website, which I don't have pulled up right at this time. Um, it's still in the works. I've got a lot to do on it. I've got a lot to update. It's going to explain the basics of how to survive in the world. If you really want to know more about the mod, that would be the place to go. It's like I said though, it's been a while since I've updated. Um, and from there, I think I am finished with the major update and what is changing with the mod. So I really hope you guys come and can enjoy my channel. Please feel free to give me some constructive criticism. I am currently working on anxiety issues. Talking on a mic is a small miracle in itself, so let me know how I did. Thanks, guys.